Applying DNS in yoga. I'm starting with this modified boat position, and that turns out to be a wonderful transition point into this sort of side plank. In DNS it's called oblique sit. And in oblique sit, while I support with my left arm, left shoulder girdle, and stabilize my rib cage and my pelvis, I'm introducing this movement which is alternating between a reaching motion and a supporting action with that arm. Here I'm integrating my head and my neck into the stability of the rib cage and pelvis. So I support with the arm down, I'm reaching with the arm up, which is basically transitioning from external rotation and flexion to internal rotation and with a little bit of extension. And I can use the supporting position to help me make the transition when I'm ready to come back up to the sitting position. So that supporting action with the left arm integrates with the supporting action of my right hip to help me sit up. So different variation here where I'm on the palm, and this variation highlights the way in which I use a widening lateral stretching, if you will, of the shoulder girdle to better align the shoulder blades, stabilize the shoulder blades, and optimize the functionality in the shoulder girdle, upper spine, neck, head. So you can see how this is similar to a side plank. Even though I'm sitting, it's essentially a side plank position, but by being able to support with my hip, I'm able to work a little bit more carefully, a little bit more particularly with the shoulder girdle. Here I'm just exploring that widening, that lateral stretching of the right side of the shoulder girdle. You can also see it's a lot like triangle pose. So again, using the supporting action of the arm to help me upright, back to the sitting position. And then trying to control this motion, this transition, back to the oblique sit. And then here I'll explore not just the reaching of the arm, but how that reaching of the arm combines with the stepping motion. So my left hip and my right leg and my right arm are all working together while I'm maximizing the stability of the pelvis and the trunk throughout. So the feeling of being able to synchronize these motions into one single motion is very reinforcing in the sense that I feel a lot of strength in my center, and it makes the transition into the tripod much easier. And then from there I'll come up into a lunge, and I can use that lunge to transition to standing. So from the lunge, I'm going to transition up into a wide high squat, and then apply some of these same movement principles to my classical posture, Trikonasana, triangle pose. So again, you can see how much I'm stretching the shoulder girdle, but that stretch and that action the stability that gives me integrates down through my trunk into my pelvis, my hips, my legs, my feet. So the arms really complement the posture and help me to integrate the upper body and lower body. A lot of students, I find, when they make transitions from one side to the other, tend to lower their arms, and once the arms come down, I give up a lot of my stability. So when I'm doing movements, I'm not going to be as functionally stable in those movements. So that stabilization helps me with the jumping motion. And then the top arm transitions from supporting action to reaching action. Meanwhile, the bottom arm supports, and that helps me with the rotation, not just of the chest, but also with the rotation of the pelvis and the stretch of the top hip. So as I change sides, my arms reverse their roles. Now the right arm is supporting, left arm is reaching. And now the left arm is supporting and the right arm transitions to the reaching action. And I'm really reaching here. That reach helps me to get more stretch into the right hip and all the way into the back leg. And then back to supporting. Here both arms support, and that helps me with the transition out of the posture and back to my standing position.